Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 21 of Hard Knock Hawks. I'm Anthony, along with Chris and Leon. Marco is busy right now, so we're just going to record without him today. This is the podcast where we talk about our favorite team, the Atlanta Hawks. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the Hawks' new contributors after the trades from the trade deadline. George Niang, Terence Mann, Caris LeVert. We are also going to talk about the Hawks going 3-1 during the last week with 3 wins against Washington, Orlando, and Milwaukee, losing by 1 point in overtime against the Knicks on the road. Finally, we're going to talk about all the All-Star game activities that occurred during the weekend that featured Risacher and Trae Young. And to give you some updates about the Hawks are currently the 8th seed with the 17th ranked offense and the 14th ranked defense, according to Cleaning the Glass. So I am going to start with you, Leon. What are your general thoughts on the Hawks' new players that they got after the Hunter and Bogey trade?
The new guys look pretty good. They fit the ethos of what we want to do. They're moving the ball, giving the ball back to Trey Young when they're supposed to, hitting shots, trying to defend, being vets, talking out there, doing what they're supposed to do. So it's pretty good so far. Obviously, they're all a little bit on the older side, but the only one who's on the wrong side of 30 is Caris, and he's just 30. So still has his bounce. Plays hard, and obviously Niang's played in the system before for Quinn, so that's good. And obviously he's a great shooter of the basketball. So you're getting the plus playmaking, of course, from Karras and self creation from the wing position, and of course you're getting great shooting and big body rebounding by Georges Niang.
The S is
Uh,
silent, by the way. So
yeah, no, I'm still calling him Georges. Georges Niang, and obviously Terence Mann is a good defender, even though yeah, he did not survive the non-Dyson minutes against Mr. Brunson. That's okay. Welcome to the East, buddy. Not in the West anymore. Yeah,
It's physical here.
yeah, it is. But it was nice. Um, obviously, first couple games before the All Star break with the new guys, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season and beyond with a few of them.
what's your thoughts, Chris?
Well, since they've been here, combined, they're averaging like 6 assists. And DeAndre Hunter averaged like 1 for his entire career, so that's huge. It's big for the team, ball movement wise, with the scheme supposed to work right, and malleability. Portability, guys that can fit with your stars, and then play without them too, right? Because the ball's gonna move. It's been big having those guys, and just seeing kind of what the scheme does when you have pieces that fit. So it's been nice. It took me a little while to get like comfortable with the move. I was kind of hoping for some draft assets back, and they did get some second round picks, so we'll see what happens with that. But then when I was looking deeper, right, you got Terrence Mann, who's still got 3 years of control, so that kind of shores up your backup guard situation for a while. And then Niang, you still get a power forward for next season who can shoot. So I think these are some guys that factor in for now and the future. And yeah, they've been impactful. The shooting's been there. George and Karis have been getting them up, and they've been going in. Terrence has added a lot of life and some athleticism. He and Karis both opening it up, and Niang really understands the scheme. You've seen him put on the ground and get his shots up, and he's been quick decisions. So yeah, it's been great seeing those guys come in. What do you think, Anthony?
For me, we were talking about this before we recorded the podcast, and I'm going to repeat what you said. It is really nice to have someone that you can rely on for shooting for this team that isn't Dyson or Zach, because this team was just missing just so many open looks, so many open shots, and Dyson, not Dyson, excuse me, but Caris LeVert and George Niang especially these guys are just reliable offensive players for majority of their career. There's like Leon said, Niang has been Quinn's system before. He knows how to play with Quinn's system. He's a really great shooter, and we haven't had like one of these really good shooters as a forward in like a good minute. And then you have Caris LeVert, who I was think a lot of people just kind of underrated in the Hunter trade. I think people thought of him just as like salary filler, but I think he's just really filling a big role in terms of like creation and other shooting needs for this team as well. Um, Also like he's doing like a lot of other things as well in terms of like playmaking. Like in the Knicks game, he almost had a triple double, which is insane. That just in his third game with us. Like I wouldn't even imagine that with Hunter here. Like, yes, he's like shorter and smarter than Hunter, but he's providing a bunch of things for this team. I think my main question to you guys is that out of all the three players that we had, which ones do you think will provide like the most use for these the most use for this team generally?
Ooh, that one's tough. I think for this team, because Terrence Mann does have all that control, right, and you really have been looking for a third guard, well, a second guard as well, but you finally found him in Dyson. I think in Terrence Mann, you found another guy who kind of really fits how you want to play up and down, and can kind of fit in next to both guards. I think that guy will be really impactful for this team. But so far, I mean, Caris LeVert and George Niang both get they're combined for like 18, 15 rebounds a game between them, which DeAndre Hunter wasn't going to do. So it's probably one of them. But for me, I don't know. I'm going to say Terrence Mann just because the guard situation has been something that's been weighing on my spirit, honestly. So I'm glad they found someone to fill those minutes. So yeah, I'll say Mann.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with George. Because obviously with Jalen being out for the rest of the season, you need some type of reliability at the power forward position. Obviously, he is not the kind of player that Jalen Johnson is in pretty much any way, but he's a professional and he can shoot. And front court spacing is always going to be a need, and a huge plus in a Trey Young led offense. Um, and he talks a lot of smack. He knows where to be. He'll be a good vet for the younger guys, and he, I think, for what's left on his contract, right, uh, which is one more year, it'll be nice to have him next year next to Zach and or Jalen, as they begin or continue to develop their own self creation. So it'll be nice to have a really good shooter in that corner for them to have an outlet, um, as they continue to develop. So I'm gonna go with George, not just because obviously he's gonna continue to play a huge role for the rest of the season, but for the remainder of his contract, at least if he's here next season too. But anybody is a good answer out of the three guys because they're all helping us right now. What you think, Ant?
Um, I'm gonna also go
Your
with
top three.
George as well because
Mhm.
I like you said, I think the shooting in the front court is just so valuable. But I was thinking I would say Niang, not Niang. I was saying the same person. I was gonna say Karis because he's just a wing that could just do so many things for so many things. Like he could act as like a pseudo point guard. He could get rebounds. He can be a really good defender. Like there's so many things you can do with Karis that I think can help this team so much. But ultimately, like for me, I think that front court shooting that it's gonna help this team like a bunch. And I've been like basically screaming it for the whole half the year basically that we just need some kind of backup forward option, right? And if and I'm just happy that the Hawks just finally have somebody, especially now that's a veteran that can possibly teach like Risacher or Jalen a few things in the future that can hopefully make their game better. Um, Well, honestly, like both of you guys said, like these are all I think great additions, and hopefully it can help the Hawks just make a big run as they get into this competitive East. But another player I do want to talk about that is contributing to the Hawks a lot, I think, during this month of February is Zach. Zach during this month has been averaging 14 points, 2.4 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. He's been becoming a more consistent scorer as of lately. And I think that has been surprising a lot of people as of late. Chris, I know you were one of his earlier detractors. Detractors. You shocked by me saying that. Detractors early in the season. Well, I wouldn't say early detractor, but critics early in the season. But what are your thoughts so far during this month of February? Do you think he can keep this pace up as we continue on?
I mean, my very fair assessments of Zach's play. Do I
Listen,
think Zach? So February, I pulled up Zach's numbers. Right, we're looking
yep.
at triple slash 55% from the field, 40 from three, 81 from the free throw line. If he does keep this play up, oh boy, I don't think so. This is like the best stretch of his NBA career, maybe his professional career, percentage wise anyway. 14, 2, and 1 is solid. I think he's really taking advantage of one, not having to shoot as much the last few games, but Jalen's absence. He's got a bit more freedom, I think, and just the responsibility, knowing he needs to score a bit more. Sense of urgency, maybe, is what I'm looking for there. But yeah, he's been playing pretty well. The aggressiveness you want has kind of been there, which maybe Jalen made him a bit passive, right? You want to defer to your big dog, but I don't know. That's a tough that's a tough question. I don't think he can keep this up, but I do think that he will continue to play well. I think he's kind of more comfortable. If they can just keep him fresh down the stretch, yeah, I don't know that he's kind of hitting a reverse wall. He's playing better as the season's gone along, and hopefully he can maybe January numbers. It was 46, 36. We can kind of expect him somewhere between that and what he's doing right now. So yeah.
Before I get to Leon, about you saying the criticism thing, I will say that the reason why I say that is my thing with Zach is basically, I think that in my point of view, I think there were people that were just kind of underestimating him, and I think felt that like what he did early in the season was just that's what he was gonna be. I felt that was just unfair. That's why I. But then again, I'm the biggest Zach fanboy here. I will
Well, I
admit that.
mean,
I will kind of
I
admit that.
didn't want to
So
draft Zach, so I mean that's fair, and I'm
yeah,
because I
like
did want some other prospects, but I mean I think since he's been on the team, I don't want to, especially on the pod. I think my criticisms have been fair. Most of my fun
yeah, I
shots
think
with
that
Zach
they've
have
been
been
fair. He like he couldn't make
private.
a shot.
Um,
So
but yeah, and
like he couldn't. Like
his
the shooting, especially in those first few games, was I would put not good.
I mean,
Like
in my defense, right, I am looking at his numbers. Like October, November, December, he was shooting below 30% from three, right, and 40% from the fields. He's picked it up since then, and kudos to Zach. Like he's been playing really well, but no, he wasn't shooting that great. So I'm glad to see him pick it up, and yeah, he's been good.
well, what's your thoughts, Leon?
Okay, so the original question is, do I think he can keep up this February pace?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. February 14, 2, and 1, 55, 40, 81. Yeah, I think what Chris said is right. Somewhere in the middle of what you did between January and February, um, probably is about right. So what's that? That's like 13, 13, 3, and he'll probably get to 2. 50, 38, 80, probably something like that for the rest of the season, and that'll get his numbers up pretty good. But I think that after this little week and a half off, even though he participated in the All Star weekend, shout out to him and Trey out there in the Bay. Um, I think he might come up with a little bit extra, at least for the first week. That might push him forward a little bit. Obviously, for the rest of the season, it kind of behooves them to feature him more if they think he's ready for it. So I think he'll keep it up. Honestly, I think he understands it now. Like I'm gonna keep saying, man, that movement three against the Knicks, it moved me. I can't say I would be lying to you if I said it didn't. That was an eye opener of sorts. Obviously, we talked about them wanting to do that with him, but it's a skill that if you don't already have, it takes a little bit to get that in rhythm. Even if you are a good shooter. But if he's going to be doing that, man, it can get interesting, especially with all the plus playmaking we have left on the team. I think he can turn into a first or second outlet for a lot of the drivers we have. Terrence Mann, physical driver. Caris, quick first step, not like super physical, but quick, definitely a fast driver. At 6'6", is good. And a good playmaker at this point in his career. Obviously, Trey Dyson, physical driver. So I think there's just more shots for him because it's a lot less of Jalen's going to get 16 shots. Dre's going to get 11, 12 shots. So I think it's only right that he, as the only forward over 6'8" on the roster, for real, besides like Moji, gets the opportunity. And I think he will get that opportunity.
He's the only small forward technically on the roster per
Yeah.
basketball reference.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So, and then again, like he's the number one pick, and like just to kind of keep it going with what we talked about. I mean, what you guys were talking about before. I think early in the season, when you're billed as a shooter and you don't shoot well, it can look really bad, and it did look really bad. But I think as we got to see him in a Hawks uniform, we realized that there was a little bit more to his game, despite the bad shooting numbers. He is 6'10", obviously smart defender. We figured that out pretty early. I think a lot of his limitations right now are like just as a basketball player, forget he's a number one pick, so he's supposed to, have primary creator upside or whatever. I think most of his actual issues being productive on a basketball court were, age, strength, and experience. And obviously, I think he's learned the NBA pretty quickly. Not to say, he's not like a vet or anything, but I think he came in with a little bit of a higher baseline than a lot of rookies like that maybe didn't play in a Power Four conference since it's four now. RIP the Pac-12. But yeah, I mean, he could easily average 15 the rest of the season and end up with a Dre-like rookie season. It wouldn't shock me, and that would be fine because he won't be 22.
Before I talk about these other next few players, I'm gonna ask one more thing about Zach. Do you guys think he could at this point win Rookie of the Year? Because
I think he can. I don't think he will because I don't think they really wanted him to. Because
that's fair.
And the way Rookie of the Year really works, the way it really works is that if we're not talking about you like that by December, unless you unless you just explode, you're probably not going to get it. And the player that it's probably going to go to, in my opinion, doesn't actually deserve it.
What, Castle? It's something you have to win early. I do agree there.
I think
good early. He wasn't good early.
I think I mean, I'm
Like,
thinking about it's
part of
like,
me just wishes Jared McCain didn't get hurt. So, like, because he was going to earn it.
He was
yeah,
gonna
he
win it.
probably
Like,
was.
he was
Yeah.
going to run away with it. Like, and I
Jalen
wouldn't have
Noel
been
could
mad.
still win it though, or Jalen Well, wasn't he?
I'm looking at the
No.
odds right now, and it's Stephen Castle's first, Khalil Ware second, and Risacher is third. So, like, Risacher has improved his standing a bunch recently because previously he was six. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean, a
not
lot of it is
possible. It's not
minutes.
impossible. Yeah.
It's minutes. It's counting stats. It's not even like they go too in depth. Like it's who scores the most of all the rookies, like probably most points, rebounds, assists, and then they'll look at like field goal percentage. If Zach's minutes go up, or he has more of those splash games, a few more 30 balls. But this has been a really weird rookie of the year uh
Right.
kind of race. Yeah, like you were saying, like typically it's something you could win it early, like come out and like be really like Paolo basically won it and Luca won it, regardless of what Trey did down the stretch, right? But there was no favorite early. I think the league might have wanted Sar to win it, honestly, but he kind of hasn't been what you need from a rookie of the year, especially even a defender, right? You would kind of want more rebounds and him to be a little bit more dominant physically. Zach maybe has a chance. He just really has to score a lot. And with Jalen gone, they're going to need some scoring. So he has a
Yeah,
chance,
like
I
he
guess,
kind of
but
has to
I don't
average
think he'll win
18
it.
for a month. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think
It
he's going
seems
to win
like,
it, though.
or the minutes
yeah, I don't know.
restriction that they have has to be gone.
Yeah, and because I think that the biggest thing is here. I think the biggest thing really is that he's a starter playing like eighth man minutes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going to have like the
He
numbers.
plays 23 minutes a game.
If he's averaged like 15, if he played enough to average 15, like he would probably win it. But Stephon Castle, I think the Castle with the dunk contest giving him a little pub, right? He
On top
has
of
some
playing
nice
with
highlights.
Wimby because
Um,
everybody and their mama's watching Wimby.
and yeah, they'll be
Yeah.
watching him. I think I'm not sure how his
And he's
minutes
learning from Chris
compare.
Paul, and he's a
Zach.
legacy. His dad was an
Yeah,
all.
he has all the PR now. So
Yeah.
Let me
yeah.
see where his
And he
minutes
plays the
are.
right way. Spurs basketball. Blah blah blah
Well, he's
blah blah.
He's averaging 13, so he does average more, but he's getting, I'm trying to see the minutes per
He does
game.
efficiently.
Um,
Yes, man.
25 minutes per game. Zach's at like 24, 23 now, 23.8. So it's gonna be close between those two. Zach's at 11 points per game. So I mean, Zach could have a few splash games and catch up. It's really gonna come down to which one of them averages the most, probably. Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
I mean, I'm going to talk about our two um G League, not G League, but well, one of them is a G League player. Our Hawks Academy players, I'm going to call them that. Dominic Barlow and Muhammad Gay. Now,
College Park Skyhawks.
yeah, I like calling it Hawks Academy though because I think that sounds cooler. I don't know why. Uh,
Mamasia.
but these are those two guys have been playing a lot more minutes recently between during this stretch, especially as the 4 for Muhammad Gay and as the 5 for Dominic Barlow. I want to know your guys' opinions on them playing so many minutes as of recently, because I mean, personally for me, I think it's good that Quinn's actually playing them finally, because actually having them play defense and stuff for this team is actually really useful. We needed like Muhammad Gay's defense in games like the Bucks game, for example. He was really good in that game. He actually even closed that game. But there are some games where it's just like you could tell that he's just young and he's just not ready for it at all. Like the next game where Muhammad Gay and Barlow was just they were just not good at all in those games. So Chris, you can just go ahead and start first.
Oh man, Gay had me fooled in the first half, bro. I was really excited about him, and then he just showed he still wasn't ready. But those were nice flashes, right? We got a good idea of what Muhammad Gay would look like when he is not a horrible basketball player. No, I'm just kidding. Um, he'll get there. He's still just young and needs experience in minutes. And fortunately, they didn't have any for him at the NBA level. Now they do, so it's nice to see Quinn get him out there for sure. But yeah, he's not been helpful or that helpful outside of that first game. I
Yeah.
thought he would be a little bit better rebounding wise, but that kind of dissolved. But there's some physical teams that he's got to kind of adjust to the physicality, right? They're moving up another level. I think Dom has been a little bit better in terms of offense. I feel like he has more of a plan, though he's not been as impactful either. But it is nice just to have their size. I think they move well, and it's just valuable experience at this point. I like to see them getting experience, even if it's at the detriment to the team. But I mean, we need tall guys to get minutes, right? And now we really are just trying to outscore people, and these guys are helping us get some rebounds every now and then and cut down on the possessions. But yeah, I hope to see Mo kind of get back to what he did in that first game when he came back. He had like the 15 and 11. Hopefully he can get near the rim some. He's kind of been lost offensively, I feel like, and I think I hope he can kind of figure out a plan, and Dom can kind of be a bit more physical, bit more of a factor at the rim. That's what I like to see from them. What about you, Leon?
Um, they're just big bodies out there. And we needed more big bodies at the forward position in the front court in general, with Clint being MIA with his personal reasons and his back spasms, and with Jalen being done for the season. Um, I think Mo brings just a level of defensive versatility that you're just not going to get from a lot of guys. And Dominic brings a little bit of shot making and rebounding from both of them. And we just need whatever we can get as far as that's concerned right now. So it's good that they were able to get some good NBA minutes against some good NBA teams. And the results were mixed, but it's really just about the exposure for them right now, and for them to make the most of that exposure. And I think they did, especially Mo. The road to success is paved with failure. So you're going to have these games. It just happens. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get them, we're trying to get a lot of the dust off these guys early, so that, this time next year, they'll be ready. I think Mo specifically was a little nervous in his first game up. Second game, he looks really good. Third game, and then the next game is like, all right, it's your 1, 2, 3 Cancun. So I feel great about this. I feel really good about not just these two, but obviously Nico's playing really good in the G right now. Hopefully we can find a spot for him moving forward. Like, self-creation, creation from others, and the guy that's 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", um, has a little bit of that fire that we need. And he's a Euro, so he knows how to play.
Yeah, that's basically I basically agree with everything you said. They're young players. We're just gonna have to deal with all the bumps and stuff that is gonna that we're just gonna have to face. That Knicks game where they played, like I mentioned earlier, that was
It was a
rough.
great game. It was a great game, though.
It was a great game for the Hawks. It was. I mean, even though we lost, like,
I mean,
man,
it was just a great basketball game. Period.
yeah, it was like I really wish Capella was there for that game, man. Like I know people hate him, but like I think we will
Yeah,
probably
you
won.
probably win.
We probably would have won if he was there. But like,
it would have been a different game.
I mean, it's a
yeah,
1-point game, right? One more
yeah,
rebound, one more
like
made shot, one more block shot,
you're
and
right.
you
But
win.
it's
I
like,
mean, a lot of things. You have Jalen, you win that game. You have either one. But
Yeah.
like it's just I feel like, especially with this team, like I'm probably gonna move on to the next topic after this. This team feels to me like they're really just so close to breaking the glass in terms of just being a really good team, but there's just so many things like just in their way. Does anyone else feel that way?
How many sheets of glass are there?
Like it made it sometimes sometimes it feels like it's just one. Sometimes it just feels like there's like 1,000. Like I don't know. Like by then I feel that way like every year with this team for the past few years.
I think that the funny thing about the Hawks is it seems like that video from like a old like Popeye cartoon where you plug one hole up and then there's another one all of a
Yeah.
sudden. So you plug that one and then the old one opens up and then you plug
Yeah.
that one and then there's another. And then you're just losing water and losing water.
It's stuff just keeps popping up over and over again. Like
because like beginning of the year, like, oh, we're pretty good on defense, but we can't shoot. Okay. And we probably lack self creation. Now you went and got the self creation, you went and got the shooting. Now you're small.
Yeah. We had
Like-
3-6-8 wings, and now we have one.
Yeah, basically. Because Jalen's
like
out.
it's just something always happens with this team. Like I don't get it. Like I
But
really don't get it.
But I mean, it's
Atlanta's cursed.
It's not. I mean, okay. It's not ideal or anything, but I think it's good for some certain guys. Certain guys are going to get opportunities that they wouldn't have got that I think that they need for this team to become what it needs, for them to become what they need to, the best version of themselves to help this team moving forward. And that's not
Caris
just
LeVert has a great opportunity. He gets to do whatever he wants.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's gonna he's gonna make some money in the next 2 months, probably.
Yeah.
He could re-sign with us. I mean, maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
but that's the problem. That's probably he'll probably make too
He's
much.
Still a little small, but we'll see.
Yeah, he is still a little
small. Before we talk about the All-Star game, my last question for y'all is basically this. Do you guys think the Hawks will be above 500 this season with all the new additions, the fact that we're playing more of the G League guys like Moge, and well, he's not a G League guy, but we're playing Moge, Dominic Barlow. What do you guys think is going to happen this season, basically?
They're going to play basketball games.
I mean,
sure.
I mean, oh my. You get what I'm saying.
They'll play the remaining games on the schedule. Well, they have a winning record. They're -3 right now. I think they're going to score more consistently throughout the rest of the season. I'm not sure if their defense will hold up. I'm not sure if it won't. I think that they have different strengths now, and different weaknesses. We'll see if Clint can come back. We'll see if Mo G can get any kind of consistency defensively. I feel like if he could just figure that end of the floor out, this team can manufacture some offense and maybe squeak out a 500 record. I think they were on a really good pace before to eventually eat the stretch that they had. Right now, I don't know if they can have another one and try to be 500. But yeah, I think if they play good basketball down the stretch, there's enough bad teams, I think, in the NBA and enough nights where other teams won't be able to keep up with Trey and some shooters where you do have a chance to get that record back up to 500. Yeah. So I think they'll get barely there. Yeah. They're not too far out.
What do you think, Leon?
Yeah, I think they're going to get there mainly because they have no incentive to take part in silly season this year. They didn't make the trades that they made to like not be good the rest of the season, contrary to what some blue checkers have tweeted. Despite what some people who get paid to talk about basketball have said out loud on the internet. Do you know that we can see you?
They're taking for the Spurs.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Like
I said, I mean, if you were in the space or you know how we run our spaces, we were live. Me and Marco were when the trades went down, and I was still kind of upset about the Brandon Ingram thing. And then when we recorded that
I
later
was in
that
my
night,
feelings.
yeah, I was in my feelings. And when we recorded later that night, I felt a lot better about them just because I had to think, okay, all right, okay, I'm just done. I traded Bogey, who hasn't really been giving me anything this year, to Andre to two different teams for Terence Mann, who I know at very least is a good defender, smart basketball player. Um, and Caris LeVert, who I know is, an NBA bucket, like nothing too crazy about that, and plays hard. Is a better defender than he used to be. Now that he's a grown man, and obviously Jordan Niang can shoot, right? And what we've seen time and time again is that Trey plus front court shooting is like, okay, let's score now. So that's usually how that goes. Um, you know, and that's why I think they'll get there, because when a lot of teams are buying into March Madness and sitting veterans, we are again not incentivized to do so. And I think Zach is. I think Zach. I think. You think he averages 15 the rest of the year, just like the rest of the season? I think he'll get 15. I think he'll average 15 from now on. That's my number.
I think he may average I don't know about 15, but maybe 13 or 14. Maybe.
He's going to have like 4 guys average 15 the rest of the season. It's going to be interesting.
Probably.
They do have a lot more shooting, right? I think a lot of their issue, their numbers game they were playing was like, we're going to be a middle of the road defense and a middle of the road offense. You don't have to be like great at math to like know that if you're like 15 on one side and 15 on the other side, you flipping a coin every game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what we were doing. We were at 1500, we were 500. Their offense, they got the ability to shoot a little bit more now. So you're putting the odds more in your favor. Now, you did lose some rim protection. I'm not sure how truly impactful Clint Capella was every night anyway. So if you can just kind of get something from these young bigs, you can kind of simulate Clint. And if Clint does come back a little bit more refreshed, right, you'll have that. You do lose Jalen Johnson, who was a very impactful player, but he couldn't shoot the three. And I think now you do have the ability to score in bunches a bit more and score a bit more easier. So you don't have to defend as well, and you still have the ability to defend because of Zach and Dyson. So I mean, the numbers game you're playing is like a bit less balanced, but because you can score more, you might win just a little bit more. So I don't know.
I think for me,
it's gonna be really close.
Yeah, I think the main thing is
if you had Jalen, bro, you'd be feeling really good right now.
Yeah,
if you knew Jalen was coming back in a week, like you'd be like,
yeah, that would be easy.
Yeah, we'd be looking at I'd be
easy 6 seed, easy. Like,
yeah, I'd be talking home court advantage.
You would expect a run to come with these ball handlers' ability to feed Jalen and Zach some, right, and just try to have less stress and be able to get some rest. Some of these games, the offense come a little bit easier for everybody. Yeah, it'd be nice, but unfortunately, Jalen's gone.
I think the main thing I'm just looking at this point is, can the Hawks maintain just some kind of consistency at this point in the season? Because
no.
It's going to be the opposite kind of consistency. They were consistent defensively for a while.
What they've done actually is increase the variance.
That could help them a lot, though. To be fair,
the size, like you're almost like there are just going to be some matchups where you're just
yeah. I was going to say they're going to be some nights where they just don't have a matchup, like Cat.
Right, and then there's going to be nights where like the percentage of your ability to win this game is going to fall on the performance of Muhammad Gay. Like there's going to be there will be 30% of the nights remaining on the season that's gonna be huge, honestly. So,
Because
you know,
I mean, I'm just
that is
looking.
just variance. It's so varied.
I'm looking at the schedule, right, and it's like to
It's not
me,
hard.
a bunch of these games, especially like recently, like hold on, let me look at 1, 2, 3, 4. Like some of these games don't honestly look that bad. It's just that even when we were
Do we play
healthy,
the Wizards
right? It's
again?
just, huh?
Do we play the Wizards again?
No, we do not.
No.
I don't. Yeah, we don't.
Good, because I'm
It's
not looking. I was not looking forward to George Niang guarding Bilal Coulibaly.
it's just that like it's just that there are times where it's just that we've just been really consistent. It's just 3 wins, 3 losses. It's yeah, we're a young team and stuff, but like I am hoping that even with all the new players and stuff, and especially with Clint coming back, they're able to just find some.
Andre Hunter was getting every shot he wanted.
Yeah,
He was
like
playing all the minutes. He was closing every game. They were playing through him for stretches on stretches on stretches, and we lost 8 straight games.
that's true. That's true. It's just
Like
if
it's just how many times do you need that his scoring is not as impactful as
oh, I think you got muted for a second, Leon.
yeah, I did mute myself for a second,
Oh,
but yeah, they're just getting more consistent
it's just
other stuff from these guys, you know.
yeah, basically.
The impact, like outside of scoring, from people that aren't Dre Hunter. I mean, but it's just so quick, and obviously, I don't know that they're gonna give you everything they're giving you, but I think Bogey was such a negative, right? And you couldn't. Well, I've talked a considerable amount about how like a big priority if they did nothing this season, it's like eliminating the Trey Bogey minutes, because the second you get rid of the Trey Bogey minutes, that makes the defense just infinitely better. And the
I
Trey
mean,
Garrison
yeah,
Matthews minutes, you
they
got
had
rid
no
of those
choice but to
too.
get rid of him because he was literally unplayable by the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
So
So you eliminated those minutes, which makes your defense a lot better in
better.
that
Yep.
aspect. You did lose a little rim protection, but I mean, Mann is going to give you a little bit of passing, a little bit of rebounding, some guard defense, which Dre gave you basically none of. But Niang and LeVert have given you 15 rebounds combined a game so far and 5 assists, which you're trading Dre Hunter for guys. If the guys you had were just giving you that without even scoring, that's so much more impactful than Dre just shooting. But they also are giving you 15 each because they can score, right? So just basketball players that just do more than score. It's just so impactful. Like there's just and we've had plenty of arguments on Twitter with people that seem to think scoring is the only thing that happens on a basketball floor, when that's one aspect. Like there's 5 things in the slash line that you can put down, right? And there's only one ball at any given time. Only one dude is shooting, right? There's 9 other guys that have to be impacting the game in some other way. So when these guys are doing that, that's so much better than someone who's just getting them up. And don't get me wrong, like you need to be able to score the basketball, but we pay a guy max money to get us some points, right? What I need are people that can do the other things that my 6'1" point guard can't do. Sorry, you guys got me going.
You're good.
Yeah, no, you really caught yourself because it
Yeah.
was about to get out of hand. It hadn't got out of hand just yet. You did good. I think
Yeah.
that was impressive. I don't think I would have had that self-control.
I would have to stop you or something.
Um, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think you just got more. You just got more. You know, that's the only way I know how to say it. Yeah, I think if you had Jalen right now, I would be very annoying on the timeline to anybody who wasn't a Hawks fan, and even some people who are Hawks fans who claim that they're Hawks fans. Anyway, a lot of these people.
You would be
People
seeing
like
some
that.
Jalen 5 minutes with like all the shooting they've added and stuff.
Oh man, that would have been beautiful.
Lineups.
Man,
Yeah,
that
the
would have been really good.
Jalen, Zach, Niang, Caris. Oh boy,
Oh
let
man,
me enjoy myself.
that would have been crazy. That would be. But let's move on to talk about the thing I think everyone here wants to talk about: the NBA All-Star Game, the 74th All-Star Game that NBA has held. Now, I was just gonna ask everyone here, who has watched the NBA All-Star Game tonight?
I watched it.
I
I
watched
watched.
parts of it.
I watched the
So,
whole weekend.
what are your guys' general thoughts about the format? Because Chris, you mentioned that you wanted to ask about, no, not ask, but talk about the format changes and stuff. So, what's your general thoughts about the format changes? Since I think I only watched like the actual All-Star game, and that was it. I think you said you watched the whole thing, right, Chris?
Yeah, I watched all of it. I didn't like the new format. I think they didn't think it through fully and kind of was executed as such. I don't know if the players played a little bit harder. Maybe basically all they just turned it into like a fourth quarter base. Like that's all it was. Like each game was just one fourth quarter, but there just wasn't enough basketball. I don't think the players really got into a rhythm. I think the night was very choppy. I don't know if they planned
Very
out the
choppy.
blocks well um, for what they wanted to do. But I mean, when you do something for the first time, it's not going to go smoothly. But yeah, in general, I don't even know that if once they figure out how to do this format, that I would like it. I would just prefer to go back to the game. I don't need them. The game being competitive doesn't really matter to me. So I don't know if I'm really the one to ask because at the end of the day, it's just all star. I prefer the dunk contest being great again. But yeah, the format was kind of meh. The players I think did their best with what they could, but I don't think they could even really get into a rhythm. So yeah, it was a little weird.
I know you said Leon. You said you saw parts of it. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just felt. I was not entertained at all. Um, I just felt like it was. I I don't even know if I get what they were trying to do. I guess I get what they were trying to do. I guess it didn't. I really don't even have no thoughts. It was just nasty. It was really nasty to me. That's all I really got for it.
I'm with.
The
It
teams.
was,
Sorry,
it was
No,
terrible.
you're good.
Hold on. It was terrible trying to watch Wemby and CP3 game the skills challenge. Like have some decorum. Like have some decorum, please. And then the teams themselves were weird.
Didn't make sense.
The way that they were grouped and like and then when the OGs played, in the final game, it's like, oh, you got two centers, Pascal Siakam and no point guard starting, and you wonder why, like you're down 11-1, whatever.
And LeBron pulled out of the whole friggin' thing like
And
2
Anthony,
hours.
and Anthony Edwards did the same thing. Like,
Yeesh.
what's the point of
Y'all don't
doing
know.
that?
Y'all don't
Like,
know who
why
made
would
that
you
call.
do that? That's so dumb.
Golly.
You just
Y'all know who
wasted
made
a
that
spot.
call, right?
Like,
Crazy.
Vegas
You-
made the call. Vegas made the call.
you just want to take a
And then, of course, Steph Curry
like,
gets MVP in Oakland in
Like-
his last All-Star game.
I just that pulling out the All-Star game like 2 hours before you actually do anything is just so stupid. Like, you just wasted an entire
You
spot
knew your
for
old
nothing.
ass feet was hurting 2 days ago, LeBron. Like, come on, man.
Like, you just wanted to take another vacation in San Francisco. You could have done that anytime. Like, come on. You
We
just wanted
lost
to meet all your
LeBron,
friends and stuff.
Giannis, and Ant.
And also, another thing about the breaks, I think how many breaks were there in between games was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
And during the games.
why
Like-
is there a 20-minute tribute to Inside the NBA when Inside the NBA is literally going to ESPN next year?
These were
Like-
games
like-
these were games to 40. That is one high-scoring quarter, and they were cutting it. They put a 20-minute break in
like you can't
between
do
the quarter.
that. Like if I'm playing the game, right, and there was a 20-minute break in between it, I'm not gonna be excited to play the game at all. Because like, what if there's another 20-minute break? Like, what's the point?
For the
What's the point
team
playing
that
it?
won the first game, it was basically like playing the first quarter and then sitting out for like a second quarter, halftime, third quarter, and then maybe an extra halftime, and then coming back into play a fourth quarter against a team that like was much more warmed up than you. It was ridiculous.
Like,
The whole thing wasn't scheduled. Like
And like
Kevin's
it
not
was
great
basically
with
in
live.
literally all a team of first ballot Hall of Famers.
They threw some random Mr. Beast contest in there,
like,
and
oh
then
my god,
he didn't even he doesn't know how to do live, so they were run out of time. He was like, "Oh man, the NBA is gonna cut to commercial in 30 seconds, kid. Get
and
these
you could
shots off."
tell that Dame was getting angry too about that.
Mhm.
He was just like, "Come on, bro, come on, let's go,
This
keep
isn't
rolling."
and one
Like,
street ball, bro.
come
He's like
on,
he's
like I
he's
don't get
standing
it.
behind the kid like, "Oh baby." He's like about to shoot his shot. Like Dame was setting picks for the kid so the
like,
kid could like shoot
oh my
without Mr.
god,
Beast
man,
playing defense. I don't know if he wanted to give the kid the money or not. Probably wanted to give it to charity because it's something he could take off his tax return or something,
taxes.
but kid got the money anyway, thank God. Honestly, as soon as Mr. Beast stopped talking, the kid hit his shot. I'm like, Jesus, this was. I don't know who put this night together. They clearly phoned that in. This was their last TNT All Star, so thankfully we won't have to see that again. I'm sure Shaq will end up on the NBC one or whoever has it next. But
It's it's ESPN. But like, my thing is that I think the target score um could work theoretically. It's just that I think the target score of 40 is just too low.
yeah,
And also, you just can't have like it's just that, and also you can't have so many breaks. And it also does help that like you can't have these guys just pick and choose the rosters anymore. I think it's just a dumb mistake. Like it's just got to be like just
not
do the
those
regular.
guys.
Yeah,
Jesus.
because they're just gonna do whatever they want. Like it's stupid.
Mhm. Yeah, the
Like
target score worked when it was 4 quarters.
yeah,
That was
it
actually the
worked.
first time they tried that, that was actually cool.
Yeah,
But this, it doesn't work for this.
but like I don't know at this point what they're gonna do about the NBA All-Star game because it seems like to me that every single person hates it. But like at this point, it just seems like there's just a reputation now between like every league has these all-star games, and they're just well, not baseball. Everyone loves baseball all-star game, but like NBA, NFL, like nobody likes these all-star games. So I don't even know at this point if they're even gonna like actually like continue like a traditional all-star game at this point because apparently the dunk contest wasn't really that popular. Expect like Mac McClung.
Yes, another Mac McClung win.
Who's the
So
only
excited.
guy?
I just have no
Yeah,
emotional attachment to it. Like, Ant,
like
you're a film guy, right? Isn't that like
yeah,
a big part of like making a movie? Is you make the audience
yeah, you
care
need to
about the
have
people
like
in the movie? I
some
have no
like
attachment to this kid.
you have to have like some attachment. But the thing is like no one knows who Mac McClung is. He's a G League player.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, with all due respect
People
to
and
him,
he
know who
did
Mac
well. Don't get me
like
wrong.
McClung is.
He
they
did
probably
about as
do know
well as
him.
he could have
Yeah.
done, right? But I just don't
And
care about
what
Mac
what
Yeah, I
what
McClung.
just don't
what
care
were you
about
about
Mac.
to say, Leon? My bad.
I mean, people know Mac McClung,
Yeah, they
but
know him
like
now.
nobody
Now,
like
Like, I think people probably expect more like of the star players to come in.
I mean, 'cause
Actually,
that's how it used to be.
yeah,
or even just the young guys, right? Like the Thompson kids. You can't tell me that they neither one of them wanted to do that contest,
I
right?
mean, they did.
Stephon Castle came in and like he did a really nice dunk, man.
Yeah,
And
you did.
that's a
Yeah,
kid that like because and like Matas, even Matas stunk, but I like was excited to see him just because he was a kid that I followed coming into the draft. He was someone that I'm like rooting for, right, as an NBA player, and I want him to succeed. And it would have been a cool moment to see him perform well. And I think just getting those young guys, like the rookies and sophomores, they need to just make them do it.
see,
Honestly,
sometimes like with the
like,
dunk contest, it's just cool to see like these narratives get built up. That's like
hmm
one of the exciting things you like to see. And I think like one of the frustrating things is that like you don't really see that happening anymore, especially because Mac McClung, I feel like if he's in the dunk contest, it's just like, he's probably gonna win it because like no one else is really gonna do anything
this is
else.
what he
Yeah,
does.
they don't have the
like-
time, and this kid's all he does is dunk.
Working on being good NBA players, you know.
Mhm.
yeah, like I don't know at this point.
I mean, that's something guys have talked about. Like Tracy McGrady didn't even want to do it because Vince Carter was going to be in it, and Tracy's like, I don't know, I don't have dunks to beat you.
Yeah,
Like, so there's
Like-
a lot of guys that like, they know who's going to win. So
like hold on, I could talk about like the stats, but I mean like they're not
Can
really
we
that.
not? Can we like
Yeah,
not do
like yeah.
what I'll say
I mean
is,
like
what I'll say
So they
is
can-
like, I don't know if the game has to be canceled, but they probably do need to cancel it and just come up with a different type of competition. I know personally, I was not upset when the NFL decided to change their whole thing. I've just wanted them to do a race anyway. Just have these dudes run 40s. I just want to see who the fastest dude in the league is anyway. But NBA can come up with something similar to that. I don't know if it's a one-on-one King of the Hill thing or a game of horse or something. But you don't have to have these guys play a game just because they used to always play a game. I think there's plenty of competitions they can come up with. And you can still select a team and have a weekend celebration.
3-legged
but,
race,
yeah.
all-star
Forcing a game, I don't know if it's necessary. Maybe they get rid of it soon. If they don't, whatever. Maybe young guys. You get a guy like Wemby who really cares. Maybe they pick it up soon. But guys like Joker doesn't care. Luka's never going to care.
yeah,
Some of these
they're
Euros
not
are never going to care
so.
about the All-Star game. So I don't know what they're going to do.
I mean, at this point, I won't be surprised if they decide to just. I think, yeah, they probably should just go back to East and West versus West and just let them just play it out and just not change it at this point. Just let them just take their cool shots and stuff. Because I mean, honestly, I think that's what people are there for during All-Star Weekend, right? I mean, no one. I think some people think that like they're there for like a competitive game and stuff. But it's like some people just want to just see some of the best players play. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why the All-Star game has lost some relevance over the past few decades is because there really isn't that kind of need for all the best players to be in that one big place, especially since you have like social media. You can like just view all the games in like one place and stuff. Like you don't need to like just look at this like one place, just look find like all the best players. You can just look everywhere now. So I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think it's interesting. Like I said, a majority of people I have seen don't like the format. They hate the breaks. The play. Trae Young literally made a comment during the interview after All-Star Game saying he hated the format. So I think there's probably gonna be changes after this year. I don't know what the ratings are gonna be like. I hate ratings discussion though, so it is what it is at this point. I think they're probably gonna just do East versus West again. But at some point, it's just gonna be like, how many format changes is too many format changes? But does anyone have any more final thoughts on the All-Star
Not at
game?
all.
Before we close it out, what Chris, you got any final thoughts?
Do you guys think there are any Hawks that make the All-Star game other than Trey in the next couple of years? Well, we
Well-
can expand that to 3 or 4 years.
I think
Yeah, Trey. We're gonna have the 60-win 3 All-Star team with Jalen and Zach too.
I was gonna say it's probably your best bet to get Zach an All-Star for sure, especially if he's like third option behind Trey and Jalen.
It probably would have to just be like a big.
What about
60.
Dyson Daniels though? Y'all don't think he's gonna get like one of those Derek
I think-
White like PR pushes?
I don't know.
No,
We
'cause
have to
he's
win
in
a bunch of games. We have to like.
a- he's in a-
Oh, we gotta win a lot of games. We gotta have
we gotta win a
single-digit
bunch of
losses.
games. I don't.
All-Star
Like, I don't
weekend.
know if he's. I don't know if he's ever gonna be in that Derek White category of role player yet. You know.
Mm,
That's a very high category
We'll
role
see.
player for sure.
it's gonna take a minute for him to be there. Like the Hawks have to be consistently good.
Yeah, he's
For
got to
that
lose
to
his
be
hair
there.
first. So
Oh my god.
The thing is, if Dyson gets an All-Star, he'll get it the year after his like real breakout year.
Yeah,
He
that's
won't get it
probably
the
the
year
yeah,
after.
I mean, it's generally it's like a multi-year campaign
Mhm.
for a lot of guys anyway.
Especially for their first one.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta get on the map first, and then people are like, oh yeah, I'll vote for him because I know
Well, I mean, he'll
I
be
know his
second
name
in
now.
defensive player of the year voting. He'll get it. He'll make a defensive team.
He was 6th in MIP last year, All-Star.
Dyson should be the favorite for most improved player, but the first overall pick for some reason is most improved player again. But not again, but for some reason, like
Wemby.
The runner-up for Depoy is going to be MIP this year.
yeah, like well, why is Cade most improved player? Like favorite? Like
I don't know, man.
why? Like
I would have been fine with Cade. I think
Cade
Cade.
did make a leap, but
he did. That's fair. But like he's the first overall pick.
no, he's supposed to make.
Yeah, but like, come on, man. Like, the discourse was bad for like those middle 2 years.
That's fair. But
MIP is kind of mid anyway. They don't
I want Dyson to
the
win
right
though.
guy. It's just honestly, this is just an example of like where the talent is in the league too. Because I feel like having this many guys that like have legitimate claims for MIP just kind of shows like where the league really is and how bad the people that are in charge of marketing this league are. Like during that whole TNT thing, like they had the Inside NBA. Like I feel like someone behind the scenes forced them to talk about how much these guys care about the players and like respect their games and like the game, because that is not what they talk about each and every Tuesday or Thursday when they're on the air, because all they do is trash the game and talk about how horrible everyone's playing. Like they hate how everybody plays. They want all the bigs to get down low and bang, and they hate the guards shooting. And Gilbert was talking about this too, because he's up for like the NBC job or whatever, and he said a big thing that they want to express is how good these guys are, right, and how talented today's players are on the floor and what they're doing, and really emphasize the on-court play instead of talking about the off-court drama that has become the storylines, right? The NBA has become like a reality TV league instead of talking about how talented these players are,
Who
and the
needs
talent level
basketball live when you've
is at
got the NBA?
it's basketball husband, like right it's the basketball husbands, right? That's all we talk about. They want to talk about the play because these dudes are talented, man. They're damn near wizards. It's low level magic what they do out there. Like Dame missing those threes on purpose to give that kid a shot to win 100K. I don't think anybody realizes what he was doing there.
I mean, I'm glad you said that
players.
because I know I was not the only one who was thinking that, because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no way he was missing those threes on purpose.
Yeah, he's
Zero
just standing
chance.
there, bro. No chance.
Like,
but yeah, it's this league is full of talented players, and I think they deserve to get their flowers more often. And I think this was a night where really, as long as the players are getting celebrated, I'd be fine. I don't need a game. Just bring them out, tell them they're great, and let them do some fun competitions, and let them go home rested.
all right. We're gonna see what. Oh, we gotta do these quick predictions. I forgot about this.
Time. Wait, was I right last time?
You were. I think you said Leon and you were 1-3. You were wrong. It was actually 3-1.
We went 3-1.
I think I gotta check again. Yeah,
he's right.
Yeah, Marco was right. He said 3-1. I said 2-2. So
forgot things got good after the trade deadline.
Yeah, it's that.
So where are we going to?
So it's Orlando at home on Thursday, Detroit at home on Sunday, Miami at home on Monday, and at Miami on Wednesday. I should say next Wednesday. At Miami next Wednesday.
The Magic could be a size mismatch. They also are a gang that like want to beat you up, but we beat them last time. We can shoot better. We could. Man,
I already got my predictions. I'll wait for y'all though.
this is a
You can go
toughie.
first,
I'm
buddy.
gonna.
You want to?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. What do you think, Anthony?
3-1. I think, or we may lose to Detroit, but Orlando, their offense is terrible. Miami is not a good team. I think we're gonna sweep them in that mini series. So 3-1.
I'm gonna go 2-2. I think odds are we probably split that Miami mini series, and think we might split the Magic Pistons. We beat the Magic last time. They probably might come out and try to like beat us up for real. So it could be a little rust coming out of the break. So yeah, I'll go 2-2.
All right. What do you think, Leon?
4-0, baby.
Oh,
So yeah,
we got
getting back to
4-0.
500 right away.
Dang. All right. There we
Getting back
go.
to 500 right away, huh?
4-0.
Let's go.
Zach comes out blazing. Big games against the Heat, and we go into March above 500.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm afraid that is actually what happens. But as usual, everyone, thank y'all for listening to Hard Knocks episode 21. Thank y'all for listening to us to rant about the All-Star game for like 20 minutes at the end. We will see you all next time for the next edition of Hard Knock Hawks.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Hawks.
Oh.